What if the fate of an entire realm rested on a single journey? In the fractured horizon, you'll be swept into a captivating fantasy where ancient magic weaves through the very fabric of a community struggle. Join Amara, a courageous cartographer on a quest to uncover the truth behind mysterious relics that could reshape her world. As she navigates treacherous forests and confronts fierce enemies, the stakes couldn't be higher. If she fails, her village falls, and the darkness will consume everything they hold dear. Will Amara and her friends rise to the challenge, or will the horizon of their dreams shatter forever? This is Chapter 1 of The Fractured Horizon. Let the journey begin.
Chapter 1. The journey begins. Amara stood in her cluttered workspace, a large wooden table strewn with rolled maps and parchment. With furrowed brows and a steady hand, she traced the ancient coastline before her, the ink flowing smoothly from her quill. Each line she drew told a story, a pathway leading to uncharted territories. The warmth of the morning sun filtered through the dusty window, illuminating the intricate details of her work. She lost herself in the delicate swirl of the ink, her dreams dancing just beyond the horizon. The scent of parchment and ink enveloped her, filling her with inspiration. Every curve and contour of the map whispered secrets of adventure, igniting a fire within her heart. Today felt different. This was more than just mapping. It was about discovery, about finding her place in a world that had always felt just out of reach. The door creaked open, and Eldrin entered, a hint of a smile playing at his lips as he watched her. Amusement dancing in his eyes. "Amara, if you keep this up, you might just bring the coastlines to life," he teased, breaking her concentration. She glanced up, catching the mischief in his gaze, but she couldn't help the smile that tugged at her lips. "You laugh, but history is alive, Eldrin. If I don't capture it, who will?" she replied, her voice tinged with earnestness. The banter felt comforting, a reminder of the bond they shared, and in his light-heartedness, she found solace amidst her swirling thoughts. As Eldrin handed her a rare artifact he discovered recently, her curiosity blossomed, fueling her desire for adventure. As he began to explain the artifact's significance, Amara's mind drifted back to the tales of Eldorath, the lost kingdom shrouded in mystery. The legends spun through her thoughts like a tantalizing thread, weaving a tapestry of ambition and aspiration. She could almost hear the whispers of the unknown calling to her, beckoning her to break free from the mundanity of her ordinary life. But outside, the laughter of children playing in the village square pierced through her reverie, a stark reminder of the life she had always known. A mixture of longing and determination settled in her chest. She glanced toward the window, the bright sun illuminating the horizon, and decided that today would not be just another day. Today, she would take the first steps toward fulfilling her dreams. Amara shifted her focus back to the cluttered market outside, the village square alive with the chatter of nearby stalls. The aroma of baked bread wafted through the air, mingling with distant laughter. Just then, Lyra appeared, waving energetically as she navigated through the crowd, her bright smile contrasting with Amara's studious demeanor. "Amara, are you really going to spend another day locked in here?" Lyra teased, her laughter ringing like music against the backdrop of bustling villages. Amara chuckled, a hint of warmth in her heart. "You'd think I was preparing for a grand exhibition instead of selling to villagers." She watched Lyra as she approached, her vibrant energy lightening the atmosphere in the small workspace. Lyra leaned against the doorframe, crossing her arms playfully, eyes gleaming with mischief. "You know, the world outside is just as fascinating. You should take a break." Amara smiled, but a flicker of determination lingered beneath her facade. "The maps won't chart themselves. There's history to uncover, Lyra. I can't let it slip away. Lyra's playful demeanor faltered for a moment, replaced with earnestness. But you can't spend your whole life looking at maps. There's so much to experience out there. Don't you want to live a little? As Amara considered her friend's words, a heaviness settled in her chest. She glanced outside once more, seeing children chase after one another, their carefree laughter dancing on the breeze. A longing filled her. The desire for adventure stirred within her. Maybe you're right, she finally replied, the words unsure yet hopeful. I just wish to bring those adventures to life on paper first. Then let's find a way for you to do both, Lyra suggested, her voice brightening. Why not combine your mapping with a little exploration? We could check out the old ruins, maybe uncover some stories of our own. Amara felt a spark of excitement at the thought. Perhaps there was a way to weave her want for adventure with her passion for cartography. That could work, she mused, her mind racing with possibilities. The spark of Lyra's enthusiasm ignited a flicker of courage within her, and for the first time, Amara considered stepping beyond her maps and into the world beyond the village. Where the true stories lay waiting to be discovered. Tonight, everything about Amara will be redrawn to his smile, embracing her wider friendships and breaking out of her maps and cartography. The Thunderous will again be adorned for his seeming with magic. It seemed Amara's thoughts drifted to the tattered map of Eldorath that hung prominently on her wall, its faded lines and ancient markings a daily reminder of the kingdom's secrets. She stepped closer, running her fingers over the worn edges, tracing paths that had ignited her imagination countless times. Each curve held a promise. Each swirling mark whispered stories of lost riches and forgotten lore. "That's it," she murmured to herself, her mind racing as she recalled Eldrin's lessons about the importance of history. It wasn't just about drawing lines. It was about uncovering the narratives woven through time. She could almost hear Eldrin's voice, urging her to see beyond the ink. "You must connect with the past, Amara. It lives within the earth and the stones. Listen to its whispers." In that moment, inspiration flooded her veins. If Eldorath had inspired so many before her, perhaps she, too, could uncover its treasures. She felt a strong pull toward its mystery, wanting not just to map its landscapes, but to live its stories, to breathe its air, and to walk its paths. With renewed determination, Amara grabbed her ink and quill, jotting down notes about potential routes they could take, places they could explore, adventures to map out beyond the canvases of her drawing table. Yet, as her excitement grew, so did the weight of doubt in the back of her mind. She knew the world was vast and unpredictable. What dangers lay ahead? What if she stumbled upon the same outcomes as those who had sought greatness before her? But amid the uncertainty, she felt a flicker of defiance. Would she allow fear to trap her in this room forever? Or would she venture beyond the walls and dare to uncover what lay just out of reach? "Maybe it's time for me to explore more than maps," she whispered to herself, a smile breaking over her face as she envisioned the possibilities that awaited her. The thrill of the unknown beckoned her forward, urging her to take the leap into the adventures that awaited beyond her familiar surroundings. Amara's concentration faltered as a distant sound of laughter floated through the open window, pulling her thoughts away from the intricacies of the map. She stepped back and glanced outside, watching children play in the sun-drenched village square. Their carefree joy struck a chord deep within her, stirring a longing that mingled with the determination she had felt moments before. As the laughter rang out, a wave of nostalgia washed over her. She remembered playing similar games, running through the fields with Lyra, sharing dreams of adventure under the expansive sky. But now, here she was, locked away in pursuit of a goal that felt both exhilarating and confining. Eldrin's voice echoed in her mind. "Adventure requires courage, Amara. You cannot discover the world from the safety of your room." The truth of those words seemed more vivid now, gnawing at her conscience. She remembered playing similar games, running through the fields with Lyra. She had spent countless hours perfecting her craft. Yet each stroke of her quill felt like a barrier, keeping her from experiencing the wonders that lay beyond the village. A part of her craved a thrill of exploration, the chance to breathe in the scents of new places, to sleep under a different sky, and to uncover the stories of old. Amara sighed, turning away from the window with renewed resolve. It was time to break free from the chains of her own making. With a decisive motion, she returned to her desk, gathering her scrolls and supplies. "This will not be the end of my dreams," she whispered to herself, a fierceness igniting her spirit. Determined to take the first steps of her journey, she decided to invite Lyra to join her for a small expedition beyond their village. The first taste of adventure on the horizon, the promise of discovery shimmering in her heart. Amara gathered her materials, excitement bubbling within her as she prepared to meet Lyra. She double-checked her satchel, ensuring it held everything she might need: water, a few provisions, and, most importantly, her favorite map of Eldorath. Elated by the prospect of adventure, she stepped out of her home, the sun warming her face as she set off toward the village square. With each step, a blend of anticipation and nervousness rippled through her. The square was alive with activity. Vendors called out to passers-by, and laughter echoed around her, creating a lively backdrop to her mission. As she approached the corner of the market, her heart raced at the thought of sharing her newfound excitement with Lyra. Amara spotted her friend in the throng of people, hair glinting in the sunlight, animatedly discussing the day's plans with a group of children. A smile broke across Amara's face as she walked toward them. "Lyra!" she called, waving her arm to capture her attention. Lyra turned, her eyes lighting up as she broke away from the children and rushed over. "Amara, you look different. Are you finally ready to explore?" Amara felt a rush of exhilaration at her friend's words. "I am. I want us to go beyond the village today, peek at the old ruins, maybe uncover some stories of our own." Lyra's enthusiasm mirrored her own, and together they fell into animated conversation about their plans. Crafting a vision of adventure just beyond the familiar boundaries they had known all their lives. As they walked, the vibrant energy around them filled Amara with courage. She realized that this moment marked the start of a new chapter where her dreams of discovery could finally take flight. "Let's get moving then," Lyra exclaimed, her excitement infectious. With renewed purpose, Amara nodded, feeling her heart swell with possibility. Their adventure was just beginning, and she was ready to embrace whatever awaited them on the path ahead. Amara and Lyra made their way out of the village, the path lined with wildflowers that danced gently in the breeze. With each step, Amara felt the familiar weight of her satchel at her side, but this time it was different, lighter, buoyed by the thrill of adventure. As they reached the edge of the forest, Amara paused, taking in the towering trees that loomed above them, their leaves fluttering like whispers of encouragement. "You ready for this?" Lyra asked, glancing back with a playful grin, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Amara took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment, confidence swelling within her. "Absolutely," she replied, her voice steady, signaling her determination. With a shared nod, they stepped into the shadows of the forest, leaving behind the comfort of their village. The cool air enveloped them, and the sounds of the outside world gradually faded, replaced by the soft crunch of leaves beneath their feet and the distant calls of birds. As they ventured deeper, Amara's heart raced with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. This was what she had yearned for. This was the beginning of something new. She glanced at Lyra, who was now peering curiously at the different plants and wildlife, her spirit bright and her enthusiasm contagious. "Let's find the ruins and see what stories they hold," Amara said, a sense of adventure igniting her spirit as they pressed on, ready to uncover the mysteries hidden within the forest's embrace. Chapter 2: Gathering Allies. Chapter 2. Gathering Allies.
Amara and Lyra entered the whispering woods where the filtered light danced through the dense canopy above. The air felt cooler here, infused with the earthy scent of damp soil and rich foliage. As they ventured further, Amara's senses heightened. Every rustle of leaves and distant bird call underscored their journey into the unknown. Her heart raced with excitement, but a thread of anxiety danced in the corners of her mind. She had envisioned this moment for so long, yet the reality felt significantly more daunting than the dreams that had fueled her desire to explore.
"Which way should we go?" Lyra asked, her voice tinged with curiosity as she scanned the winding trails ahead. Amara pulled out the map from her satchel, tracing the markings with her finger. She had studied the routes countless times, yet in this moment of uncertainty, the symbols felt more like suggestions than directives. "If we follow this path," she indicated, "it should lead us deeper into the woods and hopefully to the ruins." Lyra nodded, her enthusiasm catching hold again. "Let's see what secrets these trees hold." Steeling herself, Amara felt resolved. She folded the map and returned it to her bag, ready to take the first step into their chosen path. As they walked, she consciously pushed aside her worries, embracing the thrill of adventure that wrapped around them like a cloak. As they ventured further into the woods, a sense of unease settled over Amara. The trail narrowed, the trees around them thickening, creating a canopy that swallowed the light. Shadows twisted and turned, igniting her imagination with images of hidden creatures lurking just beyond sight. "Do you feel that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper as she glanced around, her heart beat quickening in response to the encroaching dark. Lyra, walking just a step ahead, paused and looked back at her, brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" "It feels alive," Amara replied, her instincts sharp. "Like the woods are watching us." Lyra chuckled softly, attempting to lighten the mood. "It's just the forest, Amara. No need to overthink it." Taking a deep breath, Amara refocused on their goal. "Right, we need to keep moving. The ruins are just ahead." They pressed on, Amara's senses alert. She surveyed the underbrush and the trees, her mind racing with the possible dangers of adventure. With every crunch of leaves beneath their feet, she reminded herself of their purpose. She recalled stories Eldrin had shared about the history intertwined with these woods, sparking her curiosity and pushing her forward despite the doubts. "I just hope the ruins are worth it," Lyra said. "There's a lot of legends surrounding them. I hope they don't disappoint. Maybe they'll hold secrets that can change everything." Amara replied, trying to channel her anxiety into anticipation, emboldened by her desire to uncover the truth. They continued onward, Amara's resolve strengthening with each step, her determination to discover what lay ahead overshadowing her fears. As they moved deeper into the woods, Amara and Lyra stumbled upon a small clearing, the sunlight breaking through the trees to illuminate a weathered stone altar at its center. The sight took Amara's breath away. Intricate carvings covered the surface, telling tales of ancient rituals and forgotten deities. "Look at this," she exclaimed, stepping closer, her eyes gleaming with wonder. "This must be part of the history connected to the ruins." Lyra followed, peering over Amara's shoulder. "I wonder if it's safe to touch," she said hesitantly, eyeing the moss and lichen that had claimed the stone. Amara brushed her fingers gently over the carvings, feeling the grooves beneath her skin. "These have been here for ages. They might hold important secrets we need to uncover." Suddenly, a rustling sound from the bushes startled them both. They froze, hearts pounding. Out from the foliage emerged a small, curious creature, its emerald eyes wide and shimmering with curiosity. It seemed unthreatened by their presence, inching closer to the altar. "Is that a forest sprite?" Lyra whispered, awestruck. Amara knelt down, trying to maintain calm. "It looks like one. but we should be cautious. They're known to be mischievous." Just then, the sprite flitted around them, emitting soft glimmers of light that danced through the air. "It's not dangerous," Amara realized, excitement surging within her. "Maybe it can help us understand what this place is about." The sprite swirled playfully among the carvings, as if inviting them to follow. "With its guidance, we might find more about Eldorath," Lyra suggested, her hesitation melting away with the sprite's charm. Amara smiled, heart racing as she realized this unexpected encounter could lead to genuine discoveries. "Let's see where it leads us," she decided, feeling emboldened by this moment of serendipity. With renewed energy, they followed the sprite deeper into the woods, leaving the altar and their previous doubts behind. With the sprite leading the way, Amara and Lyra followed its glowing trail as it navigated through the dense foliage, their excitement mingled with a hint of trepidation. As they walked, the sprite danced ahead, weaving between the trees and glancing back to ensure they were keeping pace. Its joyful movements filled the atmosphere with a sense of wonder. Eventually, the sprite led them to a small waterfall, cascading into a shimmering pool, the sunlight refracting off the water in a dazzling display. "This is incredible," Lyra breathed, her eyes widening at the pristine beauty surrounding them. Amara felt a surge of exhilaration. "This must be a part of Eldorath's magic. It feels alive, like it's waiting for us to uncover its stories." The sprite hovered above the water, gesturing eagerly as if beckoning them closer. Amara instinctively approached the edge of the pool, peering into the crystal-clear depths. Suddenly, she noticed something glinting at the bottom, a hidden object shimmering beneath the water's surface. "Look," Amara pointed, her heart racing as she realized it could be another clue connected to the lost kingdom. Lyra stepped closer, squinting into the water. "I think it might be a stone, maybe one with magical properties." "Let's find out," Amara replied, feeling a mix of excitement and caution. She didn't hesitate long before rolling up her sleeves and preparing to wade into the water. As she stepped in, the cool temperature sent a shiver through her body, invigorating her senses. She reached down, fingers brushing over smooth stones as she searched for the glimmering item. Moments later, her hand closed around a beautifully crafted pendant, its intricate design reflecting the light just as brightly as the sprite's glow. Amara surfaced, triumph written across her face, holding the pendant high for Lyra to see. This could be a key to understanding Eldorath's magic. The sprite twirled joyfully around them, seemingly approving of their discovery. But Amara couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of their challenges. As they stood by the water, the significance of their find dawned on her. This was not just a mission anymore. It was an adventure woven into the very fabric of their beings. As Amara examined the pendant, its design intricately etched with symbols she recognized from the old maps, a glimmer of hope ignited within her. "This might mean something. Maybe it's connected to the magic of Eldorath," she exclaimed, enthusiasm pouring from her voice as she turned to Lyra, who was equally mesmerized by the discovery. Lyra reached out to touch the pendant, her expression filled with wonder. "Do you think it could lead us to more treasure or even answers about the kingdom?" Amara nodded, biting her lip in thought. "We need to find out where this originated. It could be the key to unlocking the secrets we're after." They stood there for a moment, soaking in the gravity of their find, excitement mixing with an undertone of caution. The woods around them seemed to whisper of unseen challenges ahead, urging them to proceed with care. Suddenly, the sprite darted away into the thicket, pausing momentarily and beckoning them to follow. Amara exchanged a glance with Lyra, an unspoken agreement passing between them to trust in the creature's guidance. "Let's go," Amara said, gripping the pendant tightly in her hand as they followed the sprite deeper into the forest. With each step, she felt a surge of determination. The sprite darted away into the thicket, pausing momentarily and beckoning them to follow. Amara exchanged a glance with Lyra, an unspoken agreement passing between them to trust in the creature's guidance. "Let's go," Amara said, gripping the pendant tightly in her hand as they followed the sprite deeper into the forest. With each step, she felt a surge of determination, excitement mixing with the pendant was not just a beautiful artifact, but a symbol of her resolve to discover the history of Eldorath. But beneath her excitement, a small seed of doubt began to sprout. What if this journey led them to dangers beyond their control? What if they uncovered secrets that were better left buried? Pushing these thoughts aside, Amara focused on her companions and the path ahead. Together, they would forge their destinies, unraveling the mysteries of the past, while embracing whatever challenges awaited them. The sprite led Amara and Lyra through winding paths, its radiant glow illuminating the way as they ventured deeper into the heart of the Whispering Woods. Surrounded by towering trees and dense underbrush, the air was thick with the scent of moss and damp earth, invigorating Amara's senses. As they walked, she couldn't help but reminisce about the tales of adventure she had read, feeling this was her chance to carve her own path into a story that had long beckoned her. With the pendant securely tucked away, she felt a sense of purpose growing within her, glowing stronger with each step. In the distance, the sound of rushing water reached their ears, the melody of a stream welcoming them further into the forest's embrace. "Do you hear that?" Lyra asked, her eyes bright with excitement as she picked up her pace. "It sounds like a waterfall." Amara nodded, a smile creeping onto her face. "Let's see where it leads." As they turned a corner, the trees parted, revealing a stunning waterfall cascading over jagged rocks into a crystal-clear pool below. The scene was breathtaking, the sunlight dancing across the water, casting a myriad of colors as it splashed against the stones. "Wow," Lyra whispered, wide-eyed, as they approached the water's edge, entranced by its beauty. Amara felt a surge of inspiration. This place was alive, pulsing with magic and potential. "We should take a closer look. There might be something more here," she suggested, scanning the area for any clues or artifacts that could be hidden among the rocks. As they approached the pool, they noticed the ground was littered with shimmering stones and odd-shaped pebbles. "Look at all these stones," Lyra exclaimed, kneeling down to inspect them. "Are they magical?" Amara knelt beside her, intrigued. "Let's find out," she said, picking one up and turning it over in her palm, feeling its coolness against her skin. Just then, the sprite fluttered above them, zipping around with excitement, as if urging them to explore further. Amara chuckled, caught up in the creature's playful energy. All right, lead the way." With laughter breaking the tension of uncertainty, they followed the sprite to the waterfall, ready to uncover the secrets that awaited them in this magical place. Chapter 3: The Trust Test. As Amara and Lyra approached the cascading waterfall, the sound of rushing water filled the air, creating an exhilarating backdrop to their adventure. The sunlight painted rainbows through the mist, illuminating the rocks and foliage around the pool, creating a magical atmosphere that felt both inviting and full of possibility. "Can you believe we're actually here?" Lyra said, her face lit up with awe. "This is more incredible than I imagined." Amara nodded, her heart swelling with excitement. They had ventured beyond their familiar world, entering a space that held secrets etched in nature's beauty. Kneeling at the water's edge, she gently dipped her fingers into the cool pool, sending ripples across the surface. Something stirred within her, a connection to the stories and legends she sought to uncover. "Let's explore the area. There must be more to find," she suggested, her voice filled with determination. Just then, the sprite darted overhead, its glow intensifying as it guided them toward a narrow path that wound behind the waterfall. "Do you think there's a way to get behind it?" Lyra asked, peering curiously towards the curtain of water. "Only one way to find out," Amara replied with a grin, her curiosity overpowering any lingering apprehensions. As they approached the wall of water, the roar of the falls became deafening, the mist spray kissing their skin, making the air feel electric with energy. "Hold on, let's see if we can squeeze through," Amara laughed, feeling a rush of spontaneity as she led Lyra closer, ready to embrace whatever lay behind the waterfall. With each step, the anticipation grew. This moment held the promise of discovery and adventure, drawing them nearer to the heart of Eldorath's secrets. Amara and Lyra squeezed through the wet, rocky entrance behind the waterfall, the roar of the water creating a euphoric barrier that muted the outside world. As they emerged on the other side, the sight took their breath away. They stepped into a hidden cavern, illuminated by shimmering crystals embedded in the walls, reflecting silvery light that danced like stars around them. "Wow," Lyra whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's like we found a secret world." The cavern was filled with the soft sound of dripping water, the air cool and fresh, tinged with a slightly sweet scent that made Amara feel alive with possibility. Amara took a step forward, her heart racing. "Do you think we're the first ones to find this place?" "I hope so. Imagine the stories we could tell," Lyra replied, taking a moment to gather her thoughts, visibly excited but grounded in reality. As they moved further into the cavern, Amara noticed strange markings on the walls, similar to those on the artifact she had found earlier. Her fingers traced over them, feeling the grooves that seemed to pulse with ancient energy. "Look at these," she exclaimed, pointing to the carvings. "They might reveal more about Eldorath's magic." Lyra pulled out her own map and compared it against the symbols, a brow furrowing in concentration. "If we can decipher these, it could lead us to something significant, but we need to be careful." The thrill of discovery mixed with a hint of caution, reflecting their growing awareness of the importance of what they were uncovering. "Let's take our time. There might be more hidden in here," Amara suggested, her mind racing with possibilities as she absorbed the unique beauty and mystery surrounding them. This was exactly what she had longed for, a step into the unknown that held the promise of greatness. As Amara and Lyra examined the carvings, a faint noise echoed from deeper within the cavern, causing them both to pause. Amara exchanged a glance with Lyra, tension sparking between them. "Did you hear that?" Lyra nodded, her eyes widening. "What if it's something dangerous?" "Let's be cautious, but curious," Amara replied, masking her own unease with a veneer of determination. Drawing closer together, they slowly made their way toward the source of the sound, remaining alert to their surroundings. The crystalline walls refracted light in mesmerizing patterns, casting flickering shadows that seemed to dance in the corners of their vision. As they approached, they found another spot where the water trickled down from the ceiling, creating a small pool surrounded by more of the symbols engraved in the stone. The noise grew louder, a soft but distinct murmuring, almost melodic. Amara bent down beside the pool, captivated. "It sounds like voices," she whispered, straining to distinguish the words. Taking a deep breath, she called out, "Hello, is anyone there?" The murmuring paused for a moment, leaving a heavy silence in the air. Then, as if responding to her call, a faint glow rose from the water, and figures began to take shape, shimmering apparitions of ancient guardians emerging from the depths. Lyra gasped, stepping back slightly. "What are they?" I think they're spirits of those who came before us," Amara replied, her heart pounding with both fear and fascination. The guardians' expressions were kind, yet their forms flickered like flames in the wind, implying both wisdom and warning. Amara felt a rush of vulnerability, realizing the importance of this moment and the weight of responsibility it bore. "We've uncovered something significant," she said, her voice steadying as she turned to Lyra. "We must approach with respect. Amara stepped forward, extending her hand towards the glowing figures, feeling the air around her tingling with magic. She was ready to embrace whatever knowledge and caution they had to offer, understanding that this interaction could reshape their journey and propel them further into Eldorath's secrets. The guardian figures shimmered, their forms swirling around the edges of perception. Amara hesitated, but the ethereal glow seemed inviting, beckoning her closer. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, pushing aside her fear and uncertainty. "We come in peace," she said softly, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. One of the guardians, wreathed in light, moved closer, its features softening. "Why do you seek the truths of Eldorath?" it asked. Its voice like a gentle stream flowing over stones, resonating with an ancient wisdom. Amara glanced at Lyra, then back at the guardian, feeling a surge of resolve. "We seek knowledge to understand the magic of this land and to protect its secrets from being lost." The guardian's gaze deepened, as if assessing the sincerity of her words. "Many have come seeking power, but knowledge carries burdens. Are you prepared to bear them?" Amara felt the gravity of its question. "We are ready to learn. Whatever it takes," she replied, her heart pounding with the weight of her promise. Lyra stepped closer, her confidence growing as she added, "We must honor the past if we are to guide the future. Together we can ensure that the knowledge is used wisely." The guardian paused, considering their words. A flicker of approval crossed its face. "Very well. To pursue knowledge, you must first confront your own truths." Amara's stomach twisted at the thought. "What do you mean?" "Every seeker faces challenges that test their resolve. You must embrace the journey with all its trials." The guardian explained, its voice echoing with a timeless resonance. With that, the apparitions gestured toward the pool, and Amara felt an impulse to look deeper, as if she might catch a glimpse of the path ahead. The waters rippled, reflecting not only the present, but visions of the past and future. Amara felt her pulse quicken. Ready to uncover the lessons hidden within the water's depths. "We are here to learn. We will face whatever lies ahead," she affirmed, feeling the weight of her commitment solidify as she prepared for the challenges that awaited her. As Amara peered into the depths of the pool, visions began to swirl within the water, snapshots of moments from her journey interspersed with flashes of the future. She saw herself standing at the edge of a vast landscape, the kingdom of Eldorath sprawling before her, rich with potential. But the view shifted quickly, dark clouds gathering overhead, shadows looming threateningly over the land. "Is that what awaits us?" Lyra whispered, her voice barely breaking the tension in the air. Amara shook her head, focusing on the shimmering surface. "I don't know, but we need to be prepared for whatever it might mean." The images transitioned again, morphing into the faces as her companions, Lyra smiling brightly, Theo looking anxious, and Kale determined. Each expression held a reflection of the challenges they'd faced together, shaping their identities and the bonds between them. A ripple passed through the water, and suddenly she saw herself standing alone, the weight of the pendant around her neck. The isolation felt suffocating, a stark contrast to the teamwork she had relied on. "Trust is essential," the guardian's voice echoed in her mind, reminding her of the lessons being imparted. "Remember the importance of unity and understanding in your journey." With a deep breath, Amara felt her resolve strengthen. "We face difficulties together, and we can't let anything pull us apart," she declared, her voice steady now. The sprite flitted between them as if offering support, its light reflecting off the water. Suddenly, the vision of darkness stretched across the landscape again, this time accompanied by a growing fear. a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead, the unpredictable nature of Eldorath. "I won't let us face these alone," Amara vowed, determination piercing through the uncertainty. She glanced over at Lyra and the others, feeling a rush of support flow through her. "We will work together to navigate whatever comes." As she stepped back from the pool, her spirit resolute, she looked at Lyra. "We've learned so much already, and we'll face this next part of our journey head-on, together." With that, Amara knew their paths were intertwined, prepared to face the unfolding chaos that awaited them in Eldorath, buoyed by the strength they had built among themselves. With a newfound sense of clarity, Amara turned to her companions, feeling the air around them pulse with potential. The weight of the moment settled in her chest, but it was balanced by the energy surging between them, a silent agreement that they would not waver in the face of uncertainty. "Let's move forward," she said, her voice steady. "The ruins won't wait for us to be ready. If we want to uncover the secrets of Eldorath, we need to act now." Lyra nodded, her enthusiasm reignited. "I'm with you. Let's find out what's waiting for us." As they stepped away from the pool, Amara glanced back one last time, absorbing the beauty of the hidden cave and the magic that seemed to encircle it. The sprite fluttered around her, a beacon of hope, its glow amplifying her determination. Amara drew a deep breath, feeling the thrill of adventure call to her. Her heart raced as they made their way toward the path leading deeper into the woods. No longer just a curious cartographer, but an aspiring explorer, ready to write her own story. As they pressed ahead, the ground beneath their feet shifted, the terrain turning rocky as they ascended a small hill. Amara led the way, her senses alert, aware that the deeper they ventured, the more unpredictable the world around them became. "Keep your eyes open," she instructed. "We don't know what kinds of challenges are lurking in the shadows." The group moved in close formation, trusting her judgment as they forged onward. With each step, Amara felt a surge of confidence, knowing her growth had come not just from her knowledge, but from the support of those around her. Together, they were ready to face whatever Eldorath held in its depths, and she was determined to lead them with courage and conviction.